All right. How is everyone here? It's gonna wait a few minutes and see if I just put an open invitation to one of the uh, Twitter groups that I'm a part of. The and See if anyone from that group wants to pop in. But yeah. So what am I doing tonight? Well, tonight I am going to kind of do a look back at my first comic work that I ever did. Uh, So we're going way back, way back, way back. I mean, actually, I'm gonna say that some of you that may be viewing this video were not even alive at that time. So that being said, as you can see, I've taken a page from your boy Zach, and we're doing the old bedspread comic uh, comic book thing, except these will not be getting ripped. This is one of the last originals that I have of this comic. And so, yeah, so let's see. Like I said, I'm giving it a few more minutes. I'm going to go into the page to see if um, we got any visitors to the channel. Right? Yeah, okay, so here we go. Go here. And see if we got anyone in the chat right now. Oh, do this here. All right, so let me take a quick moment here. I'm gonna go grab my eyeglasses so I can see a little bit better. All right, so we're going into the way back machine here, and we are going to be looking at my very first published work in comics. The year is 1991. I have been at this point out of the military. I was in the Marine Corps and actually got out in 19. Let's see, I got out in 1980, actually 87. So February of 1987, I got out of the Corps, and I then later that year, that summer, after I had gotten out, I met my wife and ended up getting married to her the very next year. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh my goodness, Caesar, what? That's kind of sudden." Well, I mean, here's the deal. I knew she was the one for me, and we've been married since 1988. So it's been going pretty good. um, and so let me just mute this. All right. So here we have it. This is the Captains Jolting Tales issue number 1. And this comic was published um, out of Connecticut, out of Vernon, Rockville, Connecticut, to be more exact. And the Captain's Jolting Tales was um, it was a pretty much what would be called an underground comic. In that it had that style. We would just kind of put out, whatever kind of stories, and we didn't care about how things looked, that sort of thing. It just kind of had that look to it. And the the creator of the publishing company, One Shot Press, was a pot smoking, 6'4" uh, dude with a long beard, long hair, just a real hippie type guy. Really nice guy. His name is CJ Bunn, and they started One Shot Press along with his father, uh, who uh, was pretty much funding the whole operation. Um, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and we created uh, a certain look, a certain aesthetic, and we were really harkening back to those EC horror days, but also with that underground comics vibe. Now, this particular gentleman here, this is the captain. The captain was like kind of like the crypt keeper, and as you can see, the art here is by a gentleman about from David Bunn, and he was the writer of the stories in the book, and he was kind of more like that old school tattoo artist style, um, and you could see that in definitely how the the whole image is drawn. It kind of has that real tattoo flavor to it. Everything is hand lettered. This comic is actually in pretty good shape, um, for the fact that it's what is it now? 10, 20, gosh, 28 years old or so. About 28 years. Um, and So, like I said, it's got a Crypt Keeper vibe to it. We had this really neat, I don't know if you can see that there, One Shot Press logo, which was a smiley face with a bullet hole in the center of its head. Um, and we put these books out, and uh, they had a certain look to them, which is kind of neat. So you look in the inside here, and it gives the the characters that are in it. So we had the uh, the captain. Okay, he's telling here, "I bet you really dig this." All right, and then you go over to this the mad scientist, who's also a story presenter in here, and then we had this wizard, this magician. Uh, he says, "Gasp! I must know why. An easy way to do this. I must consult my book of spells, or maybe the cards, or at least go see my chiropractor." Ouch. There's all like these fun skulls across the top and that sort of thing there. Um, and then we go down here, we look at the table of contents, and here's some of the stories. So, Nocturnal Prey, story and art by CJ Bunn. Commander Zero, uh, on Mars, pencils by Mike Fitz. Story, inks, and tones by David CJ Bunn. And then we got The Same Old Story, pencils by Mike Fitz. Story, inks, and tones by David CJ Bunn. Original concept by Kurt Adams. David CJ Bunn art. And then we have uh, right here this, what is it? The Boomerang Effect is the name of the story. So The Boomerang Effect. Original concept by Kurt Adams, written by Kurt Adams and CJ Bunn. art by Caesar Feliciano, like handwritten in there in this coffin. Pretty neat. And tones by David C.J. Bunn, publisher John C. Bunn, editor David C.J. Bunn, secretary Judy Bunn, color cover by David C.J. Bunn. And then right here, you'll see published by John C. Bunn, One Shot Press, Vernon, Connecticut. Copyright 1991. Wow, that was a long time ago. Real long time ago. So what are we talking about here? 28, yeah, 28. Man, that is a long time. Anyway, so the story opens up, and we got the dead letters here, and you don't see this stuff. You don't see this stuff anymore. These letters pages. I know they're trying to bring it back. They say, "Oh, it's retro, the whole nine yards. Look how cool it is." But this is like commonplace. This is commonplace back in the day. You know, uh, and I'd love to see that stuff brought back. Like to see that brought back more. You know. Um, so we have reading a letter. Let's see what it says here. It says, "Hello, guys and ghouls, and welcome to the first issue of the Captains Jolting Tales. No reprints here, folks. I felt it was time for some fresh blood on the comic racks. My tales of terror are being written by new, talented people you've never heard of here at the Captain's Joint." And he would use stuff like this out that joint, but there was always that connotation when he said it. And I always had to do with pot. My man loved to smoke weed, and he is a big proponent of weed smoking even to this day. Um, so anyway, the comic business is so far ahead of itself that issue 2 will be done even before the first issue is in your hands. Look for issue 2 on the stands in October. I do want to hear from my readers, so feel free to drop me a line. You know, Imagine how different that is now. Now, publishers don't want to hear from the fans. They don't want to hear anything from them. They essentially, just want to put the books out and not listen to the consumer. But here we have an independent publisher back in 1991 where this was commonplace. And he was just basically echoing what everyone else was echoing, that comics and the consumers, the fans, were what was really important, and we wanted to connect with them. And CJ definitely understood that. Um, so let's look at the first story here. All right. So here's the first story. Let's see if I can get it here. Yeah. So this is a Nocturnal Prey. So here we have the captain, and we have a vampire story essentially here. And then this is the first introduction of Arlington Hammer. Arlington Hammer was a character that I uh, uh, actually had the opportunity to draw in a story. Um, and here it is here. I mean, listen, this art is not gonna set the world on fire. But one thing to know, if you want to know what CJ looked like, he looked like Arlington Hammer. Essentially, Arlington Hammer was CJ Bunn, and Arlington Hammer was weird because he was a vampire himself, but he was a vampire killer. So go figure. It's kind of like Blade, you know. And you can see, the story. It's really rough. The art, the story wasn't half bad, but when you look at it, you definitely can see that tattoo style of which I spoke, uh, and you know that look, that look that that style gave off. You know, where you see little stuff like this, and he actually put a lot of detail in there. Uh, you got this dude over here impaled, a little vampire over there, another vampire over here. See what I mean? Here's Arnold Ham. He's a vampire. He's got to feed. Got to feed. Uh, so here you see here the captain. He's saying, "Hey, I like this guy. You can bet your butt that you'll be seeing more of old Arlington Hammer. The way he feels now about these bothersome vampires, well, I get to safe to say it's hammer time." Oh my gosh, such good stuff. And here we go again, right here. See, mail to the Dead Letter Office, One Shot Press. Just always, I mean, say what you will about C. He was always promoting. All right, so then here's our next story. Our next story is Commander Zero. This one was penciled by Mike Fitz, who was a working tattoo artist at the time. Um, and this one was basically it's a little sci-fi story here with a little horror twist. Um, so let's see what the was it Dr. Clot has to say here. It says, "Back to your seats, children. Class is not yet out. We have one more problem on the board. Those of you that can solve this problem get to leave class alive. Here is the situation. A starship has crash landed on an uncharted area of the Martian wasteland, far from the Earth colony. No landmarks in sight. The ship is destroyed and the crew is dead, except for Ms. Luna Clone, Science Department, and Commander Zero. The life supports are running out. The radio, the radio and maps destroyed. Time and air is running out quite fast, children, and the clock is ticking off your last few hours of life. Can you solve this simple little problem for Commander Zero?" It's pretty awesome. And then you see you got the little goofy alien, little Martian dude there. You see here. "We've been walking for 3 days, Commander Zero. Wanted to come into only have a few hours left to live. Our situation seems hopeless." Oh man, freaking! And then right here, Commander Zero's such a baby. He's like, "Our situation is hopeless. We're gonna die." Uh, and Mike Fitz used to do this thing when he would draw the clone lady. He'd always draw the nipples right through the astronaut. So I never got that, but whatever. The fuck little alien here. I mean, this stuff was a lot of fun, man. I just remember seeing some of this stuff and just like just laughing hard, laughing good. Here's another story by Mike Fitz. This one's being told by the captain. It says, "Hello, kiddies. In the mood for a story? No? Too bad. I got you now. Just sit back in your restraints, buckle up your straitjacket, and settle down for one of those Captains Jolting Tales. Don't try to stop me if you think you've heard the same old story." Ah, shoot. So let me see. We got a couple lovers. They're out in the swamps. His name is Billy, of course. Her name is Millie, of course, and they're out to no good. Let me see. It looks like they're taking a swim out in the middle of the night. All right, I guess in the swamp because that's what you do. And she's saying, "Yeah, but tonight just feels different. You know what I mean, Billy? Billy, splash! You jerk! Come on, the water's wet. Of course it is. Look, Billy, I don't think that this is a good idea, and nothing is gonna get me in that pool of water tonight." Roar! Here comes a werewolf out of the freaking woods and goes to get her. She jumps in, huh? He said, "Nothing, huh?" So they look up. Say, "It was a bear. It was a bear," he says. "Or a wolf, or something. Some kind of animal. Didn't you see it or hear it?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't. Where was it?" "It was up by our stuff over there. Look there. Oh my God, what is that? Where?" Boy, is she freaked. This is working out great. Now, he said, "I think I'll work my way around the pond and get behind them." What the? And then right here, out of the woods, apparently, comes a real werewolf and freaking eviscerates, absolutely eviscerates. I don't know. I think that was like a guy in costume. Just starts chomping away. Freaking heads flying off. Freaking, there's the mask. Here's the head of the guy. It's in the water now. Oh man. I think, and what it is that Billy was trying to scare her on purpose with his friend Johnny. Yeah, his friend Johnny. He goes, "I didn't know he had two masks. Oh my God, Billy, this isn't funny anymore. What do we do now? I don't know." So they're freaking out. There's a werewolf right on the edge of the lake there. Werewolf is hungry. That werewolf is really hungry. So then we see the they're saying, "Oh, maybe we can tire him out. Good plan." Then let me see. Good plan. Then we find out where the wolf is. So you still think it's a wolf. Then they realize it is a werewolf. She says something about my bracelet is silver. I don't think it. I don't think cheap jewelry will do the trick here. No, you dweeb. Go under the water and get two rocks. We'll pound it into a weapon. See, watch my fingers. Hold it fast. Let me see. They make some kind of weapon out of it, like a shiv. All right, and then they go in there. They get Wolf. They stab it. Kind of find out that says, "Oh well, that would teach old Billy not to give cheap silver toned electroplated jewelry to his girl. Remember, friends, it pays to buy quality goods. Electroplate to a werewolf is like a plastic tent stake would be to a vampire." Oh man. So anyway, so then here's where we get to my very first published work. And man, I look at this stuff. It's funny. It was so rough. Uh, I was just trying to figure out just how to draw and stuff like that. I really had no clue. I was just kind of placing random things. But there's some stuff that I see here that um, uh, not too unhappy with. Some of the anatomy is off, but not completely. Some of the proportions were okay somewhere. It's all just learning. But it's all just a whole lot of fun. So then here we see this is the boomerang effect. Okay, so basically this is like this guy is like going out into the African um, safari there, and going to these tribes, and he's looking for weapons. So this story is introduced by the wizard right here, and it says magic has many forms, some good, some evil. However, magic always reflects the entity using it. If you are a good person, then you may walk away unscathed. If you are evil, however, you may experience a boomerang effect. Man, I actually hand lettered all this stuff. I remember doing this. Man, that really takes you back. I mean, I remember just being on that table and all this stuff in the back here. This tone, that's all zipper-tone. I zipper-toned all that stuff there. That stuff is like used to come in sheets. You would cut it with an X-Acto knife and then you just press it in there. Good stuff. It's all my lettering. Like this right here. I mean, and I tell people not to do that, you know, when they're placing where boats kind of cross them over the line like that. But, my first work. And it was weird because it wasn't even inconsistent. I was trying to fit the words onto the page, and I didn't know that you had to keep all the lettering like the same size. Oh man, but this one had like some pretty decent per- perspective and stuff like that. I would say that one of the major things here is that um the way that this is drawn, it makes this guy look like an absolute midget, or that he's sitting, and that really wasn't the case. Um, this face is not too bad here, but definitely needed work. Some more zipper tone in the back that I put in. And here's the shaman. He's like, I am he who you speak of. Why do you seek us? He's like, I have bought your village. I have sought your village for many weeks. I search for the truth behind the many tales I hear of your tribe. If that is all that you want, then you are welcome here. Come, we will prepare a feast and ready the dancers. Perfect. He doesn't suspect a thing. So then they got this freaking giant right here, which is pretty awesome. They're kind of sitting around, got the fire going, got the dancers in the background. You know, they're all doing their ritual dance. More with the lettering here. And one thing that I will give myself some credit for is I tried to put a lot of stuff into each of these panels, really fill them in. Sometimes I was successful and pulled it off. Sometimes I wasn't. It goes here. I must warn you that if you intend evil, the magic will know, and you will be punished. No, no, I merely seek knowledge. Then you may enter. He walks in. He says, "Who are these?" The enemies of the tribe. As you can see, no one escapes our vengeance. They're all like these hanging, shrunken heads. Except me, you old fool. So he goes into the cabinet and he gets the artifact. Back muscles needed work. And so he brings up that he says, "This is the pride of our tribe. The hunter will take it with them whenever they go away from the valley, and it always brings them home. It is truly amazing. I must have it." And right here, you can see, I don't know if you can see around there, but this had to be cut and pasted on because it wasn't right the way it was. We had to actually increase the size if I had written it. I had lettered it too small. But once again, with the zipper tone here, we did a lot of zipper tone. This is before computers where you could just kind of like add it in digitally. This stuff was all hand cut. And I think I did this all like in Croco too, if I'm not mistaken. So he goes in, he sneaks in, he goes to take the boomerang. So he's busted. He goes, "Hey, put that down." What? No, it belongs to me alone. Hits the guy in the head. Thinks he's gonna get away. He's flying in the plane. It's great to be headed back to the real world and to my future fortune. So now he's in his mansion, and it says there, days later, at the home of Professor G. Reed. You see that? G. Reed, Greed. And then I don't know. I was kind of like just trying to figure out perspective and stuff like that. So I mean, not too bad, but it's definitely kind of a hokey house. So here he is. He goes, after all these wasted years of studying ignorant savages, it has all paid off. It has all paid off, he says. I will sell this boomerang for millions and finally live as I wish. Dude, I don't know, man. Looks like he's got a pretty snazzy house, got a Mercedes Benz in the front. Was I well off the bed so as to be fresh for the buyer tomorrow? And once again, here we go with the zipper tone. I remember cutting that stuff in there, drawing all these little patterns on the sheets, all this stuff in the back. That's all stuff that, I don't know, I just felt that it was necessary to draw, you know? So I did. Then he has like this nightmare. What's going on here? Then he's visited by the shaman. You must return what you have stolen. Never! So he like throws it in his dream. So be it. You have now chosen your path. Now you must walk it. So he flings this thing. It comes back at him and stabs him in the chest in his dream. Then he wakes up. Ah! He's all freaked out. Then we see here it was the following day. This is simply marvelous, Professor Reed. As you can see, it is truly magnificent artifact. Well worth the price. Yes, I must agree. So then he sees like the shaman and he throws the boomerang. He goes, "Ah, you must die, die!" But it was just a mirage. And it comes back to him and he catches it. More with this crazy zipper tone. And then he's transferred, like teleported back to the tribe. He's back at the tribe and says, "Now you know the secret of the boomerang, but it is not a secret you will ever share. Take him." Ah! Next thing shows his shrunken head hanging on a rope. And then we see here, obviously, because the wizards want you to learn life lessons here in the morals. And it says, the professor has learned that some tales of magic may be true. Unfortunately, he has learned his lesson a little bit too late. CJ Bun Writer, Caesar Feliciano Pencils, Inks, Letters. Original story by Kurt Adams. And then we see the promo here for the next book, Captains Jolting Tales #2, $3.50. $3.50 we were charging for this back in 1991, and people were buying it. we were selling a lot of these. I remember that. And then we see here the return of the revenge, of the curse of the ghost, of the evil of the son of Frankenstein, the movie from Nocturnal Films. So, once again, another thing from the captain here, all right? And he's saying, "Hey, kiddies, Captain Jolly has an offer for you. You can make yourself some quick bucks by selling my comic, The Captains Jolting Tales. A new comic title is not always available everywhere, and with all the new titles on the market, I need the circulation I can get. So hang on to your skulls. Here's the deal I got for you. 5 issues will cost you $7.25. 10 issues go for $13.25. 15, 18.25, and 20 issues will run you $25.25. I pay the postage. With a $2.95 cover price, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that this is a great deal. Money orders only, please. And he actually had people that would send that in, and he would send the books out, and then they would sell it. We would distribute. We would have customers that would buy the book, and then they would distribute themselves, and they would keep the profits. So that, think about that. Is that something that would even be feasible right now? And then we have the back cover here, another CJ Bunn illustration. It says, "Come back again and visit me real soon." And that, my friends, is the very first comic that I worked on, the Captains Jolting Tales. Uh, we also did the Captains Jolting Tales 2. Um, Sales on this one went well. And because of that, we were featured in an article here, and it says, "Unleashing the Captain's Jolting Tales. Local men's new comic book picked up for national distribution." That was pretty heady stuff back in the day, and we did get picked up for national distribution, and then we put this book out that way. 48 pages, 48 pages for $3.50. That's what we were charging. I thought that was a good deal. $3.50 for 48 pages of comics. Um, I'll do this one in another video, and then we'll go through some of the other things that I did. But this is the Captain's Jolting Tales #2, and it was because of this book right here, Captain's Jolting Tales, that I fell in love with comic books. I fell in love with horror comics in particular, and uh, decided to after doing superhero comics for in the independent market, to go back to my horror comics roots. I currently have an Indiegogo campaign. The Indiegogo campaign is Chongo the Broken Veil. You can go check that out and look into it. And by all means, please select one of the perks and support me and Ben Goldsmith, the co-creator writer of the story, as we bring you Chongo the Broken Veil. It's a story of love, loss, redemption, and demons. Ruben, who has been played by a demon that has been with him since the age of 6, now a teenager, decides he wants to be rid of uh, the demonic entity once and for all. But is it a curse or something more? Find out in the pages of Chongo the Broken Veil. So please go to the Indiegogo um, and check it out. Select the perk if you want. If not, please like and share. Also on this video, please like, share, and by all means subscribe to the channel, as I'll be putting up more content. And like I said, we'll be going through the next book, which will be the Captain's Jolting Tale, issue #2. All right, everybody, y'all have a great night and be blessed. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good night now. Bye bye.